in January. Of course, that's been the story with the Cowboys for so long. When they're good, we always say, how about them Cowboys? But now my question to you is, what's with these Cowboys?
Well, they were so good on opening night. Remember that against the Giants, and you're thinking, boy, is this really going to be the year of the Cowboys? And since then, it's been nothing but turnovers and penalties and mistakes. And I'm really convinced that they are a good football team. They've sort of just been beating themselves. But they have to start winning, and they have to start tonight.
Well, on the other side of the ball, on the defensive side, of course, they have the great DeMarcus Ware with his 107 career sacks. He'll have Matt Ryan and the undefeated Falcons in his sights tonight on Sunday Night Football.
Presentation of the National Football League.
He is Tony Gonzalez. He may be the best tight end in history. Broke in with Kansas City in '97. Has been here since '09. Moments ago, he spoke with Michelle Tafoya.
Tony, the Falcons are 7-0 right now, but there isn't a lot of national attention being paid to this team. What does America need to know about the NFL's only undefeated team?
Well, hopefully what they need to know, hopefully we'll show them tonight. But you know what? Even if we don't get that national attention, it doesn't matter to us. We can complain all we want about it, but we have to go out and prove it on the field. We got hopefully, come playoff time, we win some games, and then they'll start to take notice.
You have every significant record for an NFL tight end. You have indicated that this is probably your final season. What is fueling your play right now?
Well, it's getting to the playoffs and hopefully winning that Super Bowl. That's what's been making me come back for the last couple years. We got a great football team. I love playing with these guys, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what we can do this year.
Tony, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And the Falcons will be without their best defensive player tonight. Linebacker Sean Weatherspoon is out with an ankle injury. As for the Cowboys, wide receiver Des Bryant injured his hip a week ago. He didn't practice at all this week. He told me earlier tonight that hip feels fine, the rest paid off, and he's got no physical constraints. And Al, on defense, linebacker Ernie Sims, who just joined the Cowboys a week ago, will get the start tonight in place of the injured Dan Connor.
Thank you, Michelle. And of course, they're also minus Sean Lee. He'll have toe surgery. Meanwhile, the Falcons at 7-0. Some of their detractors say their schedule has been weak. That's true. 360 combined opponents winning percentage. They swept the AFC West, took care of that division. 4 of their wins by 6 or fewer points. And plus 10, the turnover margin. They're the least penalized team in the NFL, and that has been a premium for Mike Smith. Now in his 5th season, he was the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive coordinator prior to getting hired here in '08, and Jason Garrett in his 2nd full season and his 32nd overall game as the Cowboys head coach took over in the middle of the 2010 season for Wade Phillips. Ryan is ready to go to work because the Falcons are going to get the ball. And Dan Bailey will kick off for the Cowboys as we get underway at the halfway mark of the 2012 season in the Georgia Dome. Cowboys and Falcons from Atlanta with the kick going to the goal line. Jacquizz Rodgers to bring it back. And gets tackled up at the 21-yard line. Let's take a look at the Falcon starters.
Matt Ryan, Boston College.
Michael Turner, Northern Illinois. Usaka Polite, Woody High, and Pitt.
Roddy White, Alabama, Birmingham.
Julio Jones, the University of Alabama.
I'm Tony Gonzalez, University of California.
Sam Baker, Southern California.
Justin Blaylock, Texas at Austin.
Todd McClure, LSU.
Peter Kunz, Wisconsin.
Paxton Clabo, Wake Forest.
So Matt Ryan goes to work from the 21-yard line with those 3 great receivers. Michael Turner, the running back. And Ryan will go right to the air and swing it to the outside, and that's dropped by Usaka Polite, former Dallas Cowboy. So Matt Ryan was picked 3rd overall in the 2008 draft. Jake Long went to Miami. Chris Long went to the Rams. And then they picked Ryan in the 1st round, number 3, 29-4 at home. So he's played 33 games in the stadium in 4.5 years and is left with a sad face only 4 times. In a manner of speaking.
The new standard.
Right. But that is a better than 7-to-1 ratio for Ryan here. 2nd down and 10. And the handoff goes to Michael Turner. And Turner will get bunched up, and about 8 Cowboys are in that picture, led by the nose tackle Jay Ratliff. 3rd and long upcoming.
Boy, what a difference Jay Ratliff has made to this football team since coming back from his injury. In the game last week, we saw some of the old trademark quickness, getting in the backfield, disrupting the passing lanes that they just haven't had without him. And that, of course, creates opportunities for DeMarcus Ware, one of the best pass rushers in the game, on the outside once you get that push inside.
3rd down and 9, and Ryan out of the gun throws, and that's incomplete, and the crowd wants a flag, but there will be none. Harry Douglas was the intended receiver. The safety was Danny McRae. There's Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator, who creates a 3-and-out.
Going to get the crossing route coming right here, and let's take a look. McRae was there a little early, and you can put your hand on the hip as long as you don't turn the receiver. I think that's what the official saw.
Matt Bosher to punt, and it's a good kick. Dwayne Harris will run it back. No more Des Bryant on punt returns, and Harris trying to win the job forever, and he almost broke it all the way. But he gets taken down from behind the 31-yard line. So Bryant was having his trouble on punts. They go to Harris, and Harris right off the bat gives them a 33-yard return.
Love this return. Takes it right up the gut. No hesitation. Find an alley quickly, make a move, a little spin, escape, and really but for having to slow down to make that spin move, he's going to score. The Cowboys are fired up for this game. They know their season's on the line.
47-yard kick, 33 on the run back. The running back is Felix Jones. DeMarco Murray is inactive tonight. Romo goes right to the air with good protection, and the pass is caught by Miles Austin, who picks up 9 yards. Asante Samuel covering him, the former Patriot and Eagle. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
It's going to be a very interesting matchup on the outside. Asante Samuel, one of those X factors. He loves to jump routes. I remember Eli Manning telling us he won't even throw a short pass to that side because you never know what he's going to do, but he also gives up plays down the field.
Now to the ground, and this is Felix Jones, 1st down to the 20. Let's take a look at the Dallas offense.
Tony Romo, Eastern Illinois University.
Felix Jones, Arkansas.
Lawrence Vickers, Colorado.
Miles Austin, Monmouth University.
Des Bryant, Oklahoma State.
Jason Witten, Tennessee.
Ty Smith, USC.
Nate Livings, LSU.
Ryan Cook, New Mexico.
Mackenzie Bernardo, Bentley.
Doug Free, Northern Illinois.
Witten last week caught 18 passes in the loss to the Giants to set a new NFL record for a tight end. And he's caught 43 over the last 4 games. From the 20 now on 1st down. Cowboys trying to cash in on the short field. To the outside goes this pass, and that's caught by Kevin Ogletree, who had a big night on opening night in the Wednesday opener at the Meadowlands against the Giants and has been pretty silent since.
You know, Al, what's pretty interesting in talking to players on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball for the Dallas Cowboys this week, both of those groups of players wanted to simplify game plans, sort of like what happened at the end of the game last week against the Giants when they got in the no huddle. It was easier, and that foot was close to being out of bounds, wasn't it?
Yeah. But no challenge. It's a 1st down, and Romo swings it to the outside. And that's Austin making the catch just above the turf, taking it to the 5-yard line. So Tony Romo, a very, very bad October. There it is, 5 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, low rating. But you get Tony into the month of November, and he's been tremendous. And the Cowboys have been good, and they're going to need that same type of performance from him this month. 2nd down and goal from the 6. Samuel goes with Austin to the outside on the left, and then the handoff goes to Felix Jones, and he gets taken down by Jonathan Babineau. 3rd and goal.
Sometimes the Dallas Cowboys do a poor job right here. When they try to come up on the double team, they'll come off too soon. There you see Tyron Smith. He had the double team, but he came off so soon that Jonathan Abraham able to just get off and make the play. I know it's all a new position for him over there, but on both sides of the ball, you see that mistake with this Dallas offensive line.
3rd and goal. They have Cole Beasley in the slot to the left. And inside of him is Witten. And the play clock is down to 2. And they just do get it away on 3rd and goal. And Romo in the pocket will sprint out and then flip one incomplete, intended for Beasley. So enough pressure put on to get him out of the pocket, to get him going forward. McLean with the coverage on the play, and Dallas will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Well, it looked like Tony was going to be able to run this thing in, and then there was late pressure. Somebody came running at him out of the secondary, so he tried to drop it in over the top, but that was simply too tough there. Good adjustments in the back of the end zone, but nowhere to go, so they squander the opportunity from the punt return.
Dan Bailey for a 23-yard field goal attempt. And that kick is good. So they get the good run back, but then Atlanta does what it has to do, limiting them to 3. 3-0 Dallas.
That'd be on the executive golf tour.
3-0 Dallas as Bailey's kick is fielded by Rodgers, and he will down it in the end zone. And Atlanta, after going 3-0 in their first drive, takes over at the 20 when we come back to the Georgia Dome. Complete viewing experience available to you right there. NBCSports.com. SF Extra. You can play director, channel your inner Drew Esikoff. You can chat with Mike Florio. You can talk to Michelle Tafoya. And Brian Finneran is tonight's guest analyst, the former Falcon wide receiver. Now Atlanta scoring on its first 6 possessions last week. 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals at Philly. Go 3 and out and start their second series here. Going nowhere through the middle is Turner as we take a look at the Dallas defense.
Kenyon Coleman, UCLA. Jay Ratliff, Auburn University.
Jason Hatcher, Grambling State.
Anthony Spencer, Purdue.
Bruce Carter, North Carolina.
Ernie Sims, Florida State.
DeMarcus Ware, Troy University.
Brandon Carr, Grand Valley State.
Danny McCray, LSU Tigers.
Gerald Sensabaugh, North Carolina.
Morris Claiborne, LSU.
Claiborne picked in the first round. The Falcons come to the line, no huddle here. But not a hurry up as the play clock is all the way down to 5. It's 2nd down and 9. And Ryan, under pressure, is able to get away and then throw it away. And once you get out of the pocket, you can throw it out of bounds. And there's no grounding. There's a flag down, however, in the secondary at the 33-yard line. John Parry, who was the referee in the last Super Bowl.
Prior to the pass and prior to the quarterback leaving the pocket, illegal contact. Number 54, defense, 5-yard penalty, and an automatic first down.
Well, that's Bruce Carter, who's going to see a heck of a lot more playing time now with Sean Lee out for the season.
And he's a good cover player. He really is. He didn't need to do this, but he just grabbed hold of Tony Gonzalez. I actually think it's one of the strengths of the Cowboys defense now. Ernie Sims has come in as the other linebacker because of the injury to Sean Lee. These guys have the ability to cover if the Falcons want to go spread like they did on that last play.
That's Gonzalez in motion. And the slot to the right. They pick him up at the line. Ryan looking that way and then throws incomplete. Michael Turner down the progression chart, about 4th on that play, and the pass incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
One of the things that happens when you play the Cowboys, everybody wants to slide their line over to number 94, DeMarcus Ware, on the outside. So occasionally Rob Ryan will drop him into coverage, and that time he took away Tony Gonzalez, and it was because they really weren't looking for that kind of a look. Good call that time by Ryan.
And in the replay, you could see Ryan in the background throwing his hands up in the air. 2nd down and 10. He wanted the deflected interception from the 26-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Cowboys show blitz, and here they come, and Ryan hangs in the pocket and goes deep for Jones, and Jones is able to make the catch with a flag. Claiborne is there. Claiborne with interference, and Julio Jones in his 2nd year out of Alabama makes another great catch. He's made a bunch of them in his 2 years in the league. 38 yards.
Number 24. Penalty will be declined. Result of the play, first down.
Julio Jones, just like he did last week against Nnamdi Asomugha, just simply too fast, too athletic for the rookie Morris Claiborne. Ran right by him, but watch the concentration. Getting bumped, didn't matter. These wide receivers for the Atlanta Falcons are studs, and they may be better blockers than they are receivers, and that's saying something.
Falcons paid a tremendous price to trade up, move up, and trade picks to Cleveland in the draft to get him, and so far so good for Jones. And over the middle, that is caught by Roddy White, who's able to get away, and White turns what would have been about a 3-yard gain into a first down.
Going to clear the zone here for Roddy White to come across the field, but watch this run after the catch. This guy, former high school wrestling champ, he was talking about playing the Cowboys with me on the field before the game. He said, these guys think they're more physical. They think they're tougher than we are. We are going to fight these guys at the line of scrimmage all night. It's going to be an awesome battle out there.
White, 8th year in the league, number 1 pick in 05. Out of the right side, Turner takes the ball to the 22-yard line. Michael Turner started his career with San Diego. The Chargers 4 years ago had to make a choice between LaDainian Tomlinson and Turner. They kept LT, and Turner winds up here.
Todd McClure, the center, has been a part of this offensive line since 2001. That time, Jay Ratliff, not sure if he was tired or what, but McClure is the chief operating officer inside. He's the one that gets them all going in the right direction.
2nd down and 7. Oh, coming across, and that should draw a flag, and it will. It's a free play here. Jones making the catch, and you saw Anthony Spencer jump the gun, number 93.
Offside, defense, number 93, 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Now the offside was obvious. We won't show you that, but Dirk Cutter, since coming over as the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, has put in more screens that they've run in just the game last week. I think they had at least 10 in the game last week, and it really wasn't a part of this offense. But you incorporate in guys like Julio Jones and Jacquizz Rodgers in that screen game, it's a whole new element to this offense, and it's really been a major factor thus far this season.
Cutter had been with Jacksonville. They had 10 passes that were completed behind the line of scrimmage in Philly last week. And this is Turner trying to angle his way for a first down, and he gets about a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 1 at the Dallas 17.
Well, one thing that you will not see is the Atlanta Falcons giving up on this running game, because the last thing in the world they want to have is DeMarcus Ware and Jay Ratliff just coming after Matt Ryan all day long. Sam Baker, the offensive left tackle for the Falcons, is having his best year by far, but that's a matchup you don't wish on anybody out there with DeMarcus Ware.
Baker, number 1 choice in 08 out of USC, hurt last year, didn't have a good year at all. Has rebounded this season. 3rd and a long 1. And the play clock down to 1. And whatever they called, if they audible, that didn't work at all, because Rodgers takes the handoff, and Bruce Carter makes the tackle. 4th down.
He is some athlete. Watch him jump around here and make this play in the hole. There it is right there, and just knock Jacquizz Rodgers straight back. This is an NFL running back that just went straight back like he was a Pop Warner player. I think Bruce Carter has a chance to be a star. Athletically, there is nothing that young man can't do.
37-yard attempt went right by the rookie out of Wisconsin, Peter Cons. And so it's a 37-yard attempt with a little bit more than 6 minutes to go. And Matt Bryant, who's been terrific, misses. Big break for the Cowboys to get the ball back and lead 3-zip on the road. 3-night live Voice event begins, and it's up to you. Every vote counts. The Voice live playoffs tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday here on NBC. Cowboys now from the 27. Romo to the air, throws, and that's Witten's first catch pending the penalty here. Witten, who caught 18 last week, and he can take that one away.
Hands to the face. Number 77. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's Tyron Smith, 2nd-year tackle out of USC.
And I think it was Troy Bierman that used the inside move, and it fooled Tyron Smith a little bit, so he went right to the side of the face mask there and was caught, with the umpire now being behind the offensive players. A lot of things don't get caught in this day and age, but that one did. A lot of penalties from these 2 tackles so far this season. That has been an issue.
Yeah, that's one area you don't want to lead the league in, and he is tied for the league lead in penalties with 9. First and 20, Lance Dunbar, a rookie out of North Texas, flanking Romo in the shotgun here. And Tony will check it down and then throws incomplete. Pressure was put on. Secondary does its job. And let's take a look at that Atlanta defense.
Troy Bierman, University of Montana.
Jonathan Babineau, Iowa.
Parade Jerry, University of South Panola.
John Abraham, South Carolina.
Mike Peterson, University of Florida.
Akeem Dent, Georgia.
Stephen Nicholas, University of South Florida.
Asante Samuel, Lauderhill Middle School.
William Moore, University of Missouri.
Thomas Deku, the University of California.
Dante Robinson, South Carolina.
Asante Samuel. Never a dull moment in the locker room when he's around.
Oh, boy.
Second down and 20 from the 17, and Romo throws, and that is incomplete. Witten had to reach back. Couldn't one-hand it. Third and 20. Remember, Witten was hurt in preseason. He suffered a lacerated spleen, but was able to come back and play on opening night. Nobody thought he could. We were talking to him last night. He didn't even know. He said, I didn't even know what a spleen was or where it was. And then his wife is an emergency room nurse at Parkland Hospital in Dallas. She says, I'll tell you where it is.
And she was a nervous wreck watching that game. And to be honest, I was a little bit too, because he came back awfully soon that night.
And had a big night. And he's caught 43 balls in the last 4 games, which will tie an NFL record over a 4-game span within a given season. Third and 20. Romo flushed out. And Romo is going to go deep downfield. And it will be Kevin Ogletree making the catch. And Ogletree goes down. He thinks he wasn't contacted, but the official's going to spot the ball at the 18-yard line. He beats Robinson on a third and 20. It's a 65-yard completion.
How many times have we seen Ben Roethlisberger do this? Third and long, escape, buy a little time, put pressure on the defense, then launch that baby down the field. What a throw that was. And Ogletree, who's been banged up a little bit too, with a little out and up move right by Dante Robinson. The Cowboys making some plays tonight early in the game that they have not made this year.
Well, Ogletree, who looked like he'd won that third receiver spot after the opener, we mentioned before, has been pretty silent since as they go to the ground again. And this time it is Lance Dunbar, a rookie, taking it to the 13-yard line.
Well, remember now, Lance Dunbar is in there at least in part because DeMarco Murray's hurt. Felix Jones is active, but he is not feeling great either. But they really feel like this Lance Dunbar, who's gotten a couple of opportunities to play this year, can create a little energy out there on the field. We're also going to see a guy by the name of Cole Beasley as a receiver. They're trying to find some sparks. Maybe he's it.
Dunbar coming into the game, just 1 carry this season. That came in the opener against the Giants. Free agent. Texas kid. Went to North Texas. Second and 6. Romo again extending the play. Nearly falls down. And then the pass is dropped. Dunbar was there, couldn't hold on. Akeem Dent, the middle linebacker, taking the spot of Weatherspoon in the middle, making it a 3rd down and 6.
I think Tony Romo's decided that this game and this season is on him. There really wasn't immediate pressure there, but he is one of those guys that makes plays on the move about as well as anybody does. And I think it's fair to say he's a little frustrated. He's a lot of the interceptions that have occurred this year, some his fault, many not.
He hides it better than some, but there's no question about that. Romo hanging in again, and then throws, and it's deflected and incomplete. Jonathan Babineau got his mid up to knock it away, and it's 4th down. So the Cowboys turn a 3rd and 20 into a 65-yard gain, then bogged down, have to settle for a 3-pointer.
Going to see Lawrence Vickers in as the blocking back this week because Philip Tanner, their running back, had such a tough day last week, but you can see the job that Vickers did on that one. Ball just ends up getting tipped on the play, but that's an improvement for the Cowboys.
32-yard field goal attempt by Bailey, who made one earlier in the quarter from 23. And so 2 made field goals for Dallas, 1 missed field goal for Atlanta. 3:42 to the end of the quarter, 6-0 Cowboys. Here today to salute the first responders before the Pittsburgh Giant game, of course, in the aftermath of the storm, and then flew down here and is here tonight to take in this one, part of his day-night doubleheader.
Thinking of a lot of people up in that region, aren't we?
You bet.
Boy, that was it's tough.
Let's see. Bailey, his kick will be returned. Rodgers from the 3-yard line and works his way all the way out to the 28 with 3.5 to go in the opening quarter, and the Cowboys up by 6. Talking about turnovers and penalties, but Mike Smith knows how to coach it up. 31-2, and his team has a turnover advantage, best among active coaches. They have the fewest penalties per game in the NFL, and when he goes into the fourth quarter with the lead, he is 50-3. He is now the winningest coach in Falcon history. Number 50 came last week, eclipsing the mark held by Dan Reeves. He is Brian Billick's brother-in-law, and that's how he got into the NFL when Brian was coaching in Baltimore, and he brought his brother-in-law in from the college ranks. Now he's in his 5th year in Atlanta and doing a heck of a job. From the 27-yard line on first down, Ryan will throw, and that will be caught near midfield by Jones, and Julio Jones takes it to the 48-yard line, where he's taken down by Spencer.
Well, one of the dangers, if you're going to bring that kind of pressure and then drop DeMarcus Ware, he's not really used to playing in coverage, and you could see they work right around him there.
And now they give it to Rodgers, swinging to the outside, and Rodgers gets stopped initially by Carr, and then he gets some help. And it will be 2nd down and long.
You know, you were talking about Mike Smith a minute ago and all those penalties. You make a penalty on this team, in the meeting the next day after that game, they basically walk you up in front of the room. They put all the guys that had penalties on a graph, and they chart you. So they know who has the most penalties, so they kind of shame you out of making those kind of mistakes, and apparently it's working.
Don't want to be in that lineup. He's done a great job. I mean, when he got the job, I mean, even people in Atlanta went, who? He had been the defensive coordinator in Jacksonville, but they made a heck of a choice on 2nd and 11, and that will be Tony Gonzalez making the catch, and he is out to the 50-yard line, where he's tackled by Bruce Carter. And Tony's saying he's 95% sure this will be his last year. And of course, what he'd love to do is ride off into the sunset with the Lombardi Trophy.
Isn't it amazing with the way that guy has played, that he hasn't won a playoff game? Look at him extend his arms. I think that's one of the great gifts that he has. His ability is so big and tall anyway, and when he makes catches, his arms are almost fully extended, and it's almost impossible to defend.
187, third longest streak is assured. Jerry Rice would be 1. Marvin Harrison would be 2 on that list. 3rd and 7. They run a stun up front, but the line does its job, and here's White for a first down. Roddy White, who's been doing it like that for 8 years all over the field. First down Atlanta, a gain of 18 yards.
Now they're starting to work on the rookie a little bit. Claiborne this time against Roddy White, and just unable to keep up. Tried to make a diving stab at it. The basis of Rob Ryan's defense, they've got a lot of cornerbacks. They spent a lot of money on cornerbacks. They trade up to get Claiborne. They paid Brandon Carr $50 million. Orlando Scandrick got big money. Mike Jenkins is a good player. If they can't win those one-on-one battles, they won't be able to win here tonight.
That was priority A in the offseason for Dallas. Shore up the defense, in particular the back end. Turner. Michael Turner takes it to the 28-yard line. They're trying to cut down on his carries as he gets older. He's on the other side of 30. Last year over 300. Right now he's on a pace for less than 250 this season.
Yeah, but he has been sort of the ultimate workout horse, hasn't he, Al? This is a guy that he just keeps taking the ball. As a matter of fact, last week, Jacquizz Rodgers had 60 yards rushing, and it was the first time in like 37 games that he wasn't the leading rusher for the Atlanta Falcons. So very, very consistent.
Over 2 seasons worth. 2nd down and 6. The ground again, and going nowhere is Turner. That is DeMarcus Ware, who of course is a sackmeister with 107 in his career, and also plays the run pretty well, as you just saw. And that's going to take us to the end of the first period.
Sam Baker just got a lesson on DeMarcus Ware. That wasn't good.
He's delivered a few. 6-0 Dallas, end of 1. And Sunday Night Football from Atlanta continues after these messages. brought to you by Geico. And that stadium, that's Bobby Dodd Stadium, home of the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. Hard by downtown Atlanta on this first Sunday night of November. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya from the Georgia Dome. The undefeated Falcons trailing now 6-0. And they'll start the quarter with a 3rd down and 7 from the 29 of the Cowboys. Motion on both sides of the ball, and Ryan has to dump it underneath, and that's caught for a short gain by Snelling, but the tackle was made there by Scandrick coming in to stop him near the line of scrimmage and create a 4th and 5.
Yeah, Jason Snelling trying to help with protection and then sneak out late. But I tell you, this Dallas Cowboys defense is better, I think, than what they get credit for. They've given up 71 points this year off of 19 turnovers by the Dallas offense. You take that away, and they're one of the top defensive teams in the league.
Here's Bryant, 45-yard attempt. Missed his first attempt from 37. Only missed 4 in the last year and a half. And this time he is back on the beam. 45 seconds into the second quarter. 6-3 Dallas. Well, last week, despite losing, they were down 23-0, took the lead 24-23. And then Romo targeted Witten 23 times, 18 completions, NFL record for tight ends. But take a look at this through week 8, despite putting up some big gross numbers, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions on passes intended for him, and a very low rating.
Yeah, you know, but he has been such a good player, and he reminds me of Heath Miller a little bit, doesn't he? You know, one of those blocking, receiving tight ends, and yet now with the Pro Bowl voting, it seems that Tony Gonzalez went last year, Jimmy Graham for the New Orleans Saints, a little bit more of the pass receiving types, and yet it's this kind of guy that keeps making plays in the block in the running game can make such a difference for his team as well. And he's about to become the all-time Cowboys leading receiver as well.
Good comparison. And they were like Miller and Witten in personality and work ethic. Out there to do the job, and they do it as well as any tight ends in the league. And of course you throw Gonzalez into that category, and Jimmy Graham. Gronkowski, of course, who only winds up on the cover of the preview issue of Sports Illustrated. A lot of great ones in the league. This is Dunbar, and he's going to run it back from the corner. And gets tripped up at the 19-yard line by Antone Smith.
You know, the pressure really is on the Dallas Cowboys in this one. Don't you just kind of feel it? You know, Jason Garrett, you know, all of the time management things. They had issues in that Baltimore game. And Tony Romo already 13 interceptions on the year, only threw 10 all of last year. And you could just feel the tension almost.
Jerry Jones, family here tonight with his grandson right there. Watching his team at the halfway mark of the season from the 19. And stuffed at the line of scrimmage. That's Babineau again, stuffing Felix Jones for no gain.
Yeah, well, they've come out with this 3 defensive tackle look inside. The Falcons had really struggled trying to stop the run. So now on first down, you'll see them play 3 defensive tackles, take John Abraham out of the game, basically say we're not going to let you run the football against us on first down, and then play our gimmicky style of defenses on 2nd and 3rd down. Look at them all walking around up there right now. That's Mike Nolan.
And they back off into coverage, and the pass is caught on the outside by Miles Austin for a first down. So a 2nd and 10 play, and a conversion here to the 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
Working on the outside here. I think that's Dante Robinson they're going against. And one of the things the Falcons do, and they do it a little bit because Asante Samuel is a guy that likes to play off. Mike Nolan says his recognition and anticipation is good as any cornerback in the league, but he doesn't like to play bump and run, so you see a lot of quick throws to the outside against him.
Dunbar, the rookie, is in there. He swings to the outside, and then gets taken down on a flying tackle at the 31-yard line. Bierman and Robinson coming up at the end.
You know, Croy Bierman really has become the X factor. He looked like Roddy White, a wrestler on that one, but this guy, you'll see him play everywhere. Defensive lineman, linebacker, even runs to free safety on occasion. But this time, Jason Witten's on him, really in good position. Watch Bierman fight right through him and give him the old Hulk Hogan body slam.
Romo on a 2nd and 8 off play action. Slides left. And then the flag is thrown, and that is Bryant. And again, he was a game time decision tonight, who makes the catch up at the 48-yard line and will get the penalty call.
Very interesting call here. A lot of contact right at the point of the break between Dante Robinson and Des Bryant.
And Mike not working, but the call is on Robinson.
Right at the top of the route, there's just a big collision, and always wonder how the officials actually make this call. Yeah, a little grab, and I think they got that one right. Falcons came out in that 3 defensive tackle look, so Tony Romo said, fine, I'll take that. We'll go play action one-on-one with Des Bryant on the outside, no problem.
First catch for Bryant on his 24th birthday, which is another story. We'll get to that later. From the 47-yard line, first down. And this is Jones to the 50. Well, we'll get to it right now in abridged form. You know about Bryant. You know they're trying to keep him on the reservation. They got people watching out for him, but he did ask for permission on Friday night to be out past the midnight curfew. And he went with a couple of teammates and guys to watch him and all that stuff. And of course, it became a big story in Dallas.
Well, and it was supposedly a self-imposed sort of curfew that he put on himself, and he told him he was going to do it. And who knows?
Whatever. 2nd and 7.
How'd that go?
Gain of 6. Felix Jones.
That was the abridged version, right?
Right. That's the abridged version.
All right.
That's all we have time for.
That's good. We're not.
3rd and 1.
Jason Witten on the block right out here, going up against Babineau this time. Gets him sealed inside. Getting Felix Jones on the edge.
By the way, the bridge version, want to make sure everybody knows nothing happened. I mean, they just had a good time. 3rd and 1. Philip Tanner now comes into the game in the backfield. He's the running back. He goes into the pattern. And Romo will throw, and only red shirts are there, and a flag is thrown. Thomas DeCool intercepts, but let's see what the call is. And Romo saying it's going to be defense.
I think Dante Robinson, again, he hit Witten trying to get down the field. They were fooled. Tony Romo said, don't give me another interception. I've got enough of those out here.
Parry's laughing. It's probably what he did say.
I guarantee it. Come on, man. You're killing me. We got a contract negotiation going on here.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 23. Going to be a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down, Dallas.
It's the 9th-year corner. Robinson, again, 2 penalties on this drive on him.
Right out here, and I think the initial contact is going to be at about 5 yards, but it's the grab right there. That's the hold that he gets caught on, and he really didn't need to be there. Thomas DeCool was in perfect position and probably would have made the play, but a little over anxious and nervous when you get fooled on the play action on a 3rd and 1, and sometimes that happens.
So first down now at the 39-yard line. In effect, it's the first penalty on Robinson because the other one was waved off because the catch was made. From the 39-yard line, Romo going deep, and it is almost picked off in the end zone. That time it's Asante Samuel who had it in his grasp. Couldn't hang on. Des Bryant, the intended receiver.
Can't tell you how many times in my broadcasting career I thought Asante Samuel was beaten, and he ends up making interceptions. I mean, this guy, nobody in the league as a defensive back lives more dangerously than Asante Samuel, and yet he makes plays and is one of the all-time leading interceptors in the NFL.
Or maybe he closes faster when he gets beat.
Yeah, that was a nice play.
2nd and 10. High snap, and he gets it off to Dunbar and an inside handoff, and he gets spun around like a top at the 36-yard line. William Moore, the first guy in there. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for Dallas.
I'll tell you, William Moore is some tackler, leading tackler on this team, and there were 2 guys down to block him that time, and he split them both. Watch Moore come up here from his safety position. He's 20 yards deep. 2 guys right there, neither one gets a hand on him, and he makes the play.
Cowboys go 3 by 1 to the left side on 3rd down and 7. Romo looking that way, and then the pass is dropped, and that's Ogletree, who's made 2 big catches tonight, but then can't handle this one. 4th down.
Yeah, and that's a big play if nothing else, because you are going for a field goal range, and he lets the thing get in on his body instead of just sticking his hands out Tony Gonzalez style and make the catch. So now we have a long field goal to deal with from about 54.
54 yards indeed. Of course, the downside to this is that you give Atlanta the ball at the 44 if you miss it. Bailey on a 54-yard attempt, and that one's not even close.
Big drop.
And so they'll give Ryan the ball at the 44 in a 3-point game in Atlanta. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By Miller Lite, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Samsung Galaxy Note 2, the next big thing is here. And by BMW, we only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. Since last season, the Falcon linebackers, known as the D-Block, have hosted a weekly talk show that can be seen on the Falcons website. This week's guests were Julio Jones and the birthday boy that night, Roddy White.
It's a fun-loving team.
It is.
Now, it really is. You go in there and you're going to hear about it. Asante was getting me pretty good in practice the other day.
From the 44-yard line on 1st down. And here's Turner. Well, you're a lightning rod anyway. That's a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
He was out there and trying to give it to me pretty good. When you ever going to say anything good about me? As soon as you make a tackle, I'm going to go crazy out there. And all his defensive back buddies all were laughing and having a good time. But good-natured. Roddy White's another one. Very entertaining guy. He just loves to have fun. They both love to play football. Both of them, you hear them nonstop out of practice.
We got White and Jones and Gonzalez. Rodgers starting to come out of the backfield as a receiver. Plenty of weapons for one. Ryan, and from behind, the ball is loose. DeMarcus Ware, and you know when you take a shot like that, it's got to be 94. And Roddy White is alertly there to recover and keep possession for the Falcons. What a shot.
You make a mistake like this, and you're lucky if your quarterback's alive when you get finished with it. Here he comes, right around the edge. Absolutely free shot. Never had anybody block him. One of the leading sackers in the National Football League over the course of his career. No one blocked him. Lucky that Matt Ryan's still playing.
Well, Rodgers went out into the pattern. He came around the edge and a free shot. But the Falcons get a break on the recovery, and it's 3rd and 2 at the 48-yard line. And you've got now a whistle, and Ratliff has to release him because the whistle sounded before the snap.
This is the first charge timeout, Dallas.
Dallas takes a timeout before the 3rd and 9. Of natural disasters like Superstorm Sandy, the American Red Cross provides life-saving services such as meals, shelter, and mobilizing resources and workers nationwide. You can visit redcross.org or text Red Cross to 90999 to give a $10 donation. 3rd down and 2 after the Dallas timeout with the ball at the 48-yard line, and Ryan hangs in, throws, and goes to his tight end for a first down. And that is the tight end, Michael Palmer, the backup to Tony Gonzalez. Palmer making his first catch of the night.
Well, I tell you, we talked about Matt Ryan. Look at his helmet. Can you see the paint on top? They're trying to rub that off. That's a hash mark from this hit right here from DeMarcus Ware. Goodness gracious.
He left everything but the blue star on there. You need turpentine to get it off. First and 10 of the 43, halfway through the second quarter. Ryan checking out the play clock before the snap. Play fake. Pressure from behind to the outside, and then Claiborne is there to knock Jones out of bounds. Again, it was Ware coming around, breathing down his neck. And that'll be a gain of 5, second and 5.
Yeah, working on here go on the other side now. DeMarcus Ware and Tyson Clabo is going to get a little flavor of it. So not sure that either one of these tackles one-on-one are going to be able to handle him tonight.
Turner looks for room, cutting it back. Takes to the 36-yard line, tackled by Ernie Sims. They picked him up off the street. Former Lion, Eagle, and Colt. Had to go to Sims when they had the injury to Lee.
Boy, talk about a story at the linebackers now. Sean Lee got hurt, then Dan Connor, and Ernie Sims, former #1 draft pick, was on the streets. He's out of football. They bring him in, looked good in his first game with almost no practice last week, and so they made him a starter this week.
3rd and 3 now from the 36-yard line. And Ryan has to get away and throw it away. Pressure put on Ratliff that time. Came up through the middle and forced them out. It'll be 4th down.
Well, Todd McClure really is going to have, center right there is going to have a pretty good block on Ratliff. But then as Matt Ryan tries to escape, that creates the angle for Ratliff to go out there. And right now, instead of all the bump and run man-to-man that the Cowboys played in that game last week, now they're falling off into some zones, and I think it's creating a little bit of confusion for Matt Ryan.
Falcons cannot cash in on the short field, taking over their own 44 after the missed field goal attempt. Now Matt Bosher, drafted in the 6th round last year with a high floating kick that will bounce at the 10 and be down at the 3 by Anton Smith. And Romo and the Cowboys are backed up deep, leading 6-3 in Atlanta. Cowboy running game got off to a great start opening night in New York. They won the game 143, shut down at Seattle the next week. They beat Tampa despite not running the ball, lose to Chicago, go for 227 on the ground, but lose to Baltimore, 85 at Carolina. Then last week limited to 19 rushing yards. So they're all over the map. Tonight they've rushed the ball 8 times for 22 yards, and they start this drive from their own 3-yard line, first down.
And they missed DeMarco Murray. There's just no way around that. They went from running 4.4 yards per carry to 3.2 without him. And Felix Jones is nowhere close to 100%.
Romo out of a tight formation this time, and they look for breathing room as they give the ball to Jones. We're talking about the Cowboys. Christian, every time we do the Cowboys, it always seems like the season is either on the brink or they're at a crossroads. It can be opening night. It can be closing night. One thing about the Dallas Cowboys, you can love them, you can hate them, you can't ignore them.
Yeah, and I think that people see talent, you know, and I do too. And it's tough to see a team with a -11 turnover ratio trying to hang in games and putting their defense in awful positions. And the difference in the strategy of what happened, we'll talk about in just a minute here.
And playing a team tonight that has a +10 turnover ratio. And Romo throws underneath, and Jones is able to break a tackle and fight his way for a first down up to the 15-yard line.
Well, you know, Jason Garrett decided to kick a field goal going the other way from 54 yards, whatever, miss it, ball's placed in the middle of the field. Mike Smith, with almost the exact same spot on the field going in, decides to punt it and punts it down inside. And I think it points out a little bit of the difference Mike Smith, a defensive-minded coach, he's going to play the percentages, play the odds, and not put his defense in tough situations.
And he flips the field position by so doing. Romo throws, and that's caught for a short gain by Jason Witten up at the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and Witten is on his way now to becoming the all-time leading receiver in terms of receptions in Dallas history, because he has now caught tonight a total of 2. Tony Gonzalez, of course, is on the top of the charts with tight ends, but Witten is chasing Michael Irvin. That's his first catch, actually. He's the other one negated by a penalty. So he is 2 behind tying Michael Irvin with 750 in his career. 2nd and 5. And this is Dunbar up to the 23-yard line. A little pushing and shoving going on in the secondary. Third and 1.
Tell you, there's a young man that I think deserves a mention. Watch Robert McLean come across the formation here and make a play. This is a guy that was the last guy to make the team for the Atlanta Falcons. They were borderline, were they going to cut him, not cut him, and all of a sudden he's worked his way into the nickel position, and they just feel like he's going to be a really special player. Hustles all over the field, as do a lot of these Falcons guys in the secondary, but that shows you what he's capable of doing.
Had that interception in their win over Denver. 3rd and 1. And Romo throws, and that is caught for a first down. And Miles Austin will break away and take it out to the 41-yard line. And McLean chases him down there. But it's a gain of 17, a big conversion, first down.
When you get to 3rd down against the Atlanta Falcons, you're going to see bizarre stuff. Watch the middle linebacker here drop back, Akeem Dent, and play free safety. I've seen Croy Bierman, the defensive end, play free safety. Mike Nolan is creating a lot of different looks for Tony Romo to try to figure out.
And that timeout is taken by the Atlanta Falcons.
Timeout, Atlanta.
Daniel Craig, Sally Field, and a passel of others. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno all week right here on NBC.
Surprised he doesn't have any political guests.
Hey, this week you never know.
Never know.
Anybody can show up on the set. From the 40-yard line, first down for the Dallas Cowboys after the Atlanta timeout. They give the ball to the rookie Dunbar, picking and threading, but stopped by a whole gang of Falcons at the 41-yard line.
You know, one of the interesting things about the 3 defensive tackle look is that John Abraham, who is their leading sacker, is playing much less. And Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator, I was asking him about it, and he said, you know, we're trying to win a Super Bowl around here, and I want my best pass rusher, John Abraham, to be ready at the end of the game, and I want him at the end of the season. So they're trying to limit his snaps a little bit, but if you know John at all, you know he's frustrated with that.
Nolan coming over from Miami, where he was the defensive coordinator when they were 0-7 at this point last year. Now he's 7-0. And here is Beasley, Cole Beasley, a rookie out of SMU, Texas-born, Texas-raised, went to SMU, a free agent, and the 5'8", 177-pound Beasley sets them up at midfield at the 2-minute warning. So the halftime show coming up. Steelers come from behind to beat the Giants, and we'll tell you more about it after this. It's 3rd down and inches now. We're at the 2-minute mark. Ball gets reset just shy of the 50. Cowboys bring an extra offensive lineman in and go very heavy here. Jeremy Parnell is the offensive lineman. Philip Tanner is the running back, and they give it to him, and Tanner doesn't appear to have it as they're going to spot the ball just short of midfield, and that's Bierman right there. So they needed about 18 inches and got maybe 4.
Well, that was a play by Mike Peterson's going to come up right here and stuff the fullback Lawrence Vickers, and there was just no place to go for Philip Tanner.
And the Cowboys will at least line up to go for it on 4th down and inches. from the 50. Tanner again is the back. And Romo looking like he's just trying to draw him offside, and that's exactly what he's doing. And then he takes the timeout. So they're going to punt with 1:11 to go in the half. Falcons the ball at their own 44 after a missed field goal, this time at the 50-yard line. Try to draw them offside and don't. Now Brian Moorman, the longtime Buffalo Bills
The previous
punter.
play will be reviewed.
They're going to review the spot. What they're going to do is review the spot on the third down play. Upstairs they review it. Back in a minute. Either half, but you review it upstairs. This is a very odd review. In light of the fact that you're going to review this thing, here's the third down play. You should review it before the Cowboys come up to the line of scrimmage, which they did. And they did get a timeout, but the play clock went down to 1. So you're 39 seconds into it. They take a timeout, and then the officials upstairs say, we want to look at the third down play again. Once the Cowboys would have run the play, you couldn't review this again. But now they call down. I've never seen a delay this long, Chris, for an official review.
Yeah, and it didn't look to be that close. I thought it was spotted just about the right spot, but I guess when you're talking about a game of this magnitude, they want to try and get it right.
But the oddity is that they waited almost 40 seconds.
After reviewing the play stands as called. Fourth down.
Can't remember seeing that.
Replay officials were under enough pressure this year.
Right.
They were basically calling the games during the replacement officials run. It's going to be interesting to see how aggressive the Atlanta Falcons are after this punt, if in fact they're punting it here. If you ever had a fake punt, this might be a decent time too.
Brian Moorman, a dozen years in Buffalo, very popular figure there, released by the Bills in September. Picked up a couple of weeks ago by the Cowboys, and it's fair caught by Dominique Franks at the 12-yard line. Again, the Toyota halftime show coming up. Steelers come from behind to knock off the Giants in the Meadowlands. What a day for Andrew Luck. That team is now 4-3, and you'll see Chuck Pagano's emotional postgame speech to the team. Bob Costas, Hines Ward recapping the first half on the Toyota halftime show coming up.
I know the temptation is to go to the fridge or whatever at halftime, but you need to see that speech. That was something.
You all know the Pagano story, being treated for leukemia. Bruce Arians taking over as the interim head coach, and when Pagano shows up after the game, it's something to see. From the 12-yard line, Ryan under pressure, and then that pass is caught, and this is Jacquez Rogers taking it out to the 20, gain of 8. McCray makes the tackle, under a minute to go, and Ryan says let's get up to the line. Falcons have 2 timeouts. Second and 5, and Ryan's pass is incomplete, intended for Rogers, and now it'll be third down and 5.
Yeah, now the decision to be aggressive starting to look a little bit more interesting. If the Cowboys can get off the field on third down and another 3 and out, which they're the best in football at doing, now you have enough time to take a shot to get back in field goal range.
Right, 44% of the time the Cowboys have stopped the opponents on a 3 and out on their first series, and that's the best mark in the league. So if they do it here, take a timeout and try to set up a field goal at the end of the half. It's 3rd and 5. And Ryan under pressure throws, and forget all of that because Atlanta will move the ball to the 37. They'll take a timeout, and White has a first down on a big third down conversion, and Atlanta takes its second timeout. Gain of 20 yards. Roddy White picked number 1 in 05 out of Alabama Birmingham, and then Ryan comes here in 08 out of Boston College. 406 receptions from one to the other, over 5,500 yards. 38 times White's gotten into the end zone with a Ryan pass, most in each category for any pair since Ryan came into the league. Tied the all-time record most catches by a Falcon in tonight's game. Tied Terrence Mathis for the all-time reception mark. First down now from the 37. And Ryan's going to run and slide to a halt up at the 45-yard line. Do they want to take their last time out here? They want to save it. And now you've got an injured Cowboy, and that is Ratliff, who goes down. Clock will stop at 17 seconds. And, well, look, we saw Emmanuel Sanders and the dubious injury. Ratliff's had a problem. He's had a problem all year, and clearly he is in a lot of pain right now.
That ankle, and he is frustrated when he's missed so much time. You talked to Rob Bryant, and he just said, we're a different defense. When Jay Ratliff is in there, we're different. We're better. Came on a stunt around to the outside here, and I couldn't tell if he got his foot stepped on or exactly what happened. He's had that ankle issue. It looks like he may have twisted that thing again.
And he's able to limp off. But already minus Sean Lee, and now you wonder about Ratliff and his availability for the rest of the game and upcoming, and they have to bring Josh Brent in. Third-year nose tackle out of Illinois. It's second down and 2, and Ryan fire over the middle, and that is caught, and that's Gonzalez, but a flag goes down, and we go to the 9-second mark. Tony Gonzalez making the catch for what would be a first down, but Atlanta running out of time, and John Parry to make the call here.
Prior to the pass being thrown, illegal contact, defense number 39. That penalty be declined. Result of play, 1st and 10 Atlanta.
So that's Brandon Carr.
Yeah, very interesting. They're using Brandon Carr, their $50 million cornerback, to play Tony Gonzalez inside, and that time just hit him a little late.
So not in field goal range yet, trying to get there, and they still have a timeout, and the catch is made, and of course they take the timeout here with 3 seconds as Gonzalez makes the catch at the 28-yard line, and now they can tie the game if Bryant can connect.
Here's Brandon Carr right here on the penalty. A little late grab, and then Gonzalez on the very next play down the middle with a little out and up move on Sensabaugh. Gonzalez, and send in the field goal kicker. So that was a very well done drive off their own 10-yard line. It's the kind of confidence they have in Matt Ryan these days.
So here goes Bryant for what will be a 46-yard field goal to try to square the game at the half. Officially 47 yards now. Bosher to put it down. And Bryant is good. So the Falcons get a field goal at the end of the half. It's Dallas 6. It's Atlanta 6 at the half. Check out the halftime show with Bob, Dan, Tony, Rodney, and Hines coming up after these messages from your local NBC station. Goes deep for Jones, and Jones is able to make the catch.
Just simply too fast, too athletic.
From behind, DeMarcus Ware.
You make a mistake like this, and you're lucky if your quarterback's alive.
And out of the second half in Atlanta, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoya. Sunday Night Football locked up 6-6, 4 field goals in the game. On a night when Atlanta is trying to stay undefeated, go to 8-0, and Dallas is trying to get to 500. The numbers, neither team able to do much on the ground. Passing yards about even, as are the total yards, and it's been a turnover-free game after Dallas last week coughed it up 6 times against the Giants. Matt Bosher will kick off. Lance Dunbar to return it. Dallas won the toss at the outset and deferred, so they'll start with a ball here in the third quarter at the Georgia Dome. Second half is underway. From the goal line, Dunbar slides down at the 14-yard line. Let's check in with Michelle.
Well, Jay Ratliff, Al, who we saw go down just before halftime, has a left ankle sprain. Same one he sprained in the preseason. They're going to tape him up and see if he can go. Meanwhile, on offense, look, they like what they're doing. Tony Romo's getting around, but they want to get balls to the playmakers. Des Bryant, Jason Witten, and Jason Garrett told me in order to do that, they've just got to keep banging away. Meanwhile, Falcons head coach Mike Smith told me his offensive line has to do a better job paying attention to the outside rushers to protect his quarterback. And by the way, starting defensive tackle Parade Jerry, he is done for the night, Al, because of a knee injury.
All right, thank you, Michelle. So Garrett talking about getting into the playmakers. Bryant has only one catch tonight, and Witten has only one catch tonight. Miles Austin has been their main guy on the receiving end with 4. And here goes Jones, finally breaking one for the Cowboys. After the 29-yard line goes Felix Jones for a gain of 15 yards.
Here we go. We're going to have a little pull around action here for Felix Jones, and that's a nice way to start for the Dallas Cowboys. Sticking with this running game has really helped the protection. It has been a first half of action in which Tony Romo, at least to my recollection, hasn't been touched in that first half, and because they've been able to stick with the run a little bit.
Jones had 6 carries for 15 yards until then. Now they give it to him on a draw, and that's a gain of 6 yards to the 35.
Well, Tyron Smith, who had a rough week with some family issues, has come out here ready to play, and that's what they say about this young man. He has the ability to compartmentalize and focus in on the game, and he is a big reason why Tony Romo stayed clean in that first half. Moved him from right tackle over to left tackle, and he's going to be there for a long, long time for the Dallas Cowboys.
Last year, Smith was the youngest player in the league at the outset of the season. Still just 21 years old in his second year out of Southern California. On 2nd and 4, big hole over the right side, and this time it's Dunbar breaking tackles, and the Cowboys start with 3 running plays and get the ball to the Atlanta 47. That's a gain of 18 for the rookie.
Very interesting play, sort of a short tight end wham coming down here on the defensive tackle as Mackenzie Bernardo stepped inside. So did that tackle, and just never saw the tight end coming down.
From the 47. Run it again. This time to the 44. Felix Jones, he gets 3. 2nd down and 7 upcoming.
You know, it is interesting. We see so many teams that as they have issues with the turnovers that we saw last week with the Dallas Cowboys, what do? You go back to basics. You go back to running the football. You go back to taking some pressure off of your playmakers. And I think for Jason Garrett, that was the halftime message.
2nd and 7. Well, you saw Ratliff on the sideline. See if he comes back in when they go to the other side of the ball, and that pass is intended for Miles Austin, too high. Samuel that time put the pressure on the corner blitz. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Well, that was an oops there. Asante Samuel was coming on a corner blitz off the edge. This was a freebie for Tony Romo, and he just sailed it.
At the 44. Romo from the gun. Blitz coming, and down goes Romo at the 47, his own. They set the house that time, and Tony could see it, and then went down even before he was contacted.
Like Bernardo right here is going to get beat pretty quickly inside. Don't know if that's who ends up getting the sack or not. A lot of people getting there at just about the same time.
It's only the second time all season that Romo has been sacked on a blitz. He's faced over 90 of them. And that is fair caught at the 15 by Franks off the foot of Mormon. Atlanta will get the ball for the first time in the second half. Tied 6-6. Of age, 5th year in the league. Among active NFL quarterbacks, the fewest starts to 50 wins. Tom Brady 65, and then you got Ryan and Roethlisberger. Only took them 69. Best home winning percentage would be Ryan and Flacco, who was in that same draft. Joe of the Ravens in 08, and then Brady at 855. 29 wins, 4 losses for Ryan here at the Dome. Meanwhile, Ratliff is still out. Brent is in at nose tackle, and Michael Turner will get wrapped up as he reaches the line of scrimmage.
Now, one of the things that really impresses me about Matt Ryan, you look at the numbers, 19 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter overtime. That's 2 more than any other quarterback in the NFL since he's come in the league 5 years ago. And personality-wise, he reminds you a little bit of Eli Manning. Very unassuming, not the over-the-top, overbearing kind of a character. And yet when the game's on the line, it's those 2 quiet, unassuming guys that have been the best.
Cool. 2nd and 10. And over the middle, Jones. And Jones out to the 33 as he finds the open space. First down, gain of 18.
Well, that time Ernie Sims reacts a little bit inside and lets Julio Jones get over the top. Remember, Ernie Sims has only been here for a couple of weeks. He reacts to the underneath route there. Maybe Tony Gonzalez, I couldn't tell for sure, and that's what opened up the gap in behind him.
Turner swings to the outside, and he cannot get around the corner, and that's Bruce Carter making the tackle, and number 2 pick out of North Carolina last year.
There aren't many linebackers that can run like this. Watch Carter getting over the top here. He was on the left-hand side. You try and bounce it outside, believe me, he's faster than Michael Turner is. He has the ability. He is just learning how to play that position. Now having to be the signal caller in there for Sean Lee. Imagine he just barely knows what he's doing, and now he's calling the defense for everybody else.
So Ryan's defense has limited Atlanta to 1.6 yards per rush tonight. 2nd down and 12. And Ryan pressured from behind. It's tipped and incomplete. That's Carter who got his hand on it, setting up a 3rd and 12. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, Bruce Carter told me that Sean Lee is responsible for a lot of his growth as a player, Al. In the offseason, they do conditioning drills together, and Lee would shout out a defensive call and make Carter spit out verbally what the call was, how guys were supposed to line up, and what his assignment was. So while he was running the drill, he was having to work out his brain as well, Al.
Thank you, Michelle. Lee, something very special, but toe injury, injured reserve, he'll have surgery. It's 3rd down and 12. Ryan escaping, and then Ryan throws and finds White at the 45-yard line of Dallas. So Ryan extending the play, moving forward on a 3rd and 12, connects for 26.
Total screw up that time by the Cowboys defensively. They didn't have anybody on the field. They're going to run somebody on late. Look at them at the line of scrimmage. They have absolutely no idea what the call is, who the personnel is. And on 3rd and long, they basically give it away at the end.
Look at that. He almost crossed the line of scrimmage. It's a challengeable play, but Garrett won't challenge it. Too late now. 1st and 10. And Ryan throws, and that is caught. Finding the open spot again is Roddy White to the 24-yard line. And he's the all-time leading receiver in franchise history, a franchise that goes back to its birth in the mid-60s. 575 career catches for White, now in his 8th year.
Basically, in talking to some of the coaches, they said, we could have given the game ball to Roddy White every game this year. That's how good he's been. Was fantastic in that comeback win over the Carolina Panthers, too.
At the 24-yard line on 1st down. And Ryan under pressure, and he'll go down. He'll get sacked You got DeMarcus Ware, who will get credit for at least a half of that sack, and Josh Byrne coming in as well.
DeMarcus Ware working on the edge against Sam Baker. That time, what happens to poor tackles all the time, you get set up for the speed, and he hits you with that bull rush. Coverage on the backside with Brandon Carr. Cowboys getting their $50 million worth out of him. And then you get a middle linebacker in Bruce Carter that can cover Tony Gonzalez down the field. Let you know about his athleticism.
Second down and 13. First time I've heard the Baltimore call. Let's see what this is. Incomplete.
It's a headache is what it is. Don't call that play anymore.
Victor Butler came in.
That is the second time we have seen, and I don't know what Rob Bryant is dialing up over there right now. This is the second free runner shot that we've seen against Matt Ryan. They're covering up the left guard and the left tackle and forcing Ryan to throw that thing hot. And Baltimore is going to the back burner now.
3rd and 13. Ratliff has come back in, so good news for the Cowboys. Jay back in the game. Cowboys dancing around on defense. McCray was back there all over the place.
Man.
But whatever they were doing, it works out perfectly because Snelling gets whacked by Carter.
This young man is playing. He comes off of Tony Gonzalez. It looked like he was going to cover him down the seam, comes back and makes a huge hit on Snelling coming out of the backfield. That's the second time already. On the ball he knocked down earlier, he came off coverage again and made the play. This guy's starting to look like Sean Lee.
Now it's a 43-yard attempt for Bryant to try to give Atlanta its first lead of the night. And Bryant's kick is no good. Looked on that angle like it was right over the top of the crossbar, which would have been good, but they say no. His second miss of the night, and we're still knotted at 6. Matt Bryant hasn't missed 2 in a game since 07 when he was with Tampa. From the end zone angle, when we looked at it live, it looked like it might have gone over the top of the crossbar, but it never even got there. It was wide to the right. Here it is again. Bosher's hold didn't even reach the top of the crossbar, obviously just wide to the right, and thus the game remains tied at 6 and nothing doing right now as Stephen Nicholas meets Lance Dunbar in the backfield for a loss of 3. 2nd and 13.
Stephen Nicholas is flying around out here as well. Watch him come across here. They tried to get up. Kenzie Bernardo tried to get there. Remember, tonight they're playing without probably their best defensive player, Sean Weatherspoon, and so it's been mix and match at linebacker tonight with Dent playing all the time, Mike Peterson, Stephen Nicholas, and they played well in there.
Weatherspoon hadn't missed a snap all year. 2nd and 13. Romo up in the pocket, and then he throws, and that's caught. And then tackled right away is Jason Witten at the 38-yard line. They've done a good job on Witten tonight, who had 18 catches last week, but has been limited to just 2 tonight for 13 yards.
Well, that's where the hole is going to be. They're running their middle linebacker, Akeem Dent, to play free safety. I mean, he is turning and sprinting down the middle of the field. So just about any time you want to take that throw, it should be there, kind of like it was in that game against the Giants last week.
Gain of 8, 3rd and 5. Almost all the Falcons up at the line as Romo backs up, and then Tony flips the ball to the fullback. That's Vickers. And Vickers will have a first down. Romo was moving forward. Romo wants to get up there and run the play before Atlanta can challenge the fact that he might be over the line.
Yeah, I thought he was over the line, at least initially. Nope.
Any part of the body, even if the back of your back foot is behind the line and it was there, it's legal. But Romo wanted to make sure, so he wants to get them to the line to make sure Smith can't challenge. Wouldn't have won the challenge anyway. On 1st and 10 to the outside, that is Witten, and he ties Michael Irvin's record as the leading receiver in Cowboy history in terms of receptions with 750. So you got Roddy White doing it on one side tonight, and now Witten tying Irvin on the other side.
This game's 6-6, and it feels like everything's going on, doesn't it? I mean, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of strategy here, and the significance of the game, especially for the Dallas Cowboys, with the Giants getting knocked off against Pittsburgh today. They just have to have this one.
Philly plays tomorrow night. Washington lost today. The rest of the NFC East. 2nd and 7. And Romo throwing. Flag is down. Miles Austin. Flag in the offensive backfield. John Parry making the call.
Number 71. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
Left guard Nate Livings.
Yeah, former Cincinnati Bengal free agent. It's kind of been a recreated offensive line, especially on the interior here. That was Vance Walker getting off and really kind of got off balance. Let's see, did he really get dragged down? Yeah, make up your own mind, I guess.
Second and 18. Romo, and another short pass here. That's Miles Austin. Can only get to the 41. Nicholas makes the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 13 with 3.5 to go in the 3rd quarter.
It's only fair to show you what I'm talking about. Running straight down, so that means the middle of that zone is going to be open, and the Cowboys are taking advantage of it. Need to start breaking a few of those tackles. Good job in the open field by Stephen Nicholas.
Samuel on the sideline. Issue there. Sante coming out in a situation he'd normally be in there. Robert McLean takes his spot. 3rd and 13.
Also brings Christopher Owens into the slot.
Blitz comes. Pass is incomplete and off the hands of Miles Austin. Miles Austin probably would have the 1st down with the run after the catch instead of 4th down.
You see Owens blitzing, and it's wide open. All he has to do is do what Miles Austin does all the time. Catch that ball, break one tackle, and go. If you want to know what has defined the Dallas Cowboys, it has been plays like that this season. Routine, average, no-brainer plays that they have just messed up.
Morman's punt. A flag is down, and for some reason Franks fields the ball at the 2-yard line, which you should never do, and he brings it back out to the 7.
We have hats off, so somebody's out of bounds, and then it's just a matter of whether they stayed out of bounds too long or were blocked while out of bounds. One of those two.
Going to be against Dallas.
And that's big because they had him pinned back.
On the kicking team, number 27, who went out of bounds without being touched. Atlanta has elected a 5-yard penalty and re-kick 4th down.
Absolutely they have. Yeah, that's Eric Frampton instead of having the ball at their own 6. Another punt. Sunday Night Football brought to you by Red Lobster. Seafood differently. By Sears Home Appliances and the Top 10 Advantage. By DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. And by Toyota Care, complimentary on every new Toyota. Friday night, number 2 ranked Martin Luther King High School beat number 5 Tucker High School 24-17, winning the Region 6 title, their 3rd consecutive Region Championship. Well, congratulations.
There were some players out there.
Yeah.
Good moves by the band, too.
Morman to kick again. And this fielded at the 12 this time. Franks. And up to the 19 he comes. So it turns out to be a 13-yard difference because of the penalty. Ryan and company at their own 19. 2.5 to go. 3rd quarter. First down. And that's White making the catch up at the 34-yard line. Danny McRae right there to make the stop, but not until he picks up 15 yards.
On the outside. inside. Tyson Clabo again working against DeMarcus Ware, and Ryan knows he's got to get that thing out of there. I always admire Roddy White, a guy that is more than willing to take that kind of shot and make a catch over the middle. He's a tough guy.
6 catches for him tonight and 110 receiving yards. Turner, big hole, 7-yard gain to the 42. Well, the Falcons, you take a look at this team back in 07. Bobby Petrino was the coach. He walked out on them. They were a mess. Arthur Blank, the owner, on the right. Thomas Dimitroff comes in as the general manager, and boy, did they get things right. Blank brought Dimitroff in to run things. He hires Smith. They draft Ryan. They get Michael Turner, and they've done a lot of right things, and right now they're 7-0 from the 43-yard line. To the outside for a big gain. Turner inside the 20, taken down from behind at the 13 by Brandon Carr. 43 yards as they finally bust one on the ground.
They try to stunt. They take DeMarcus Ware and try to cram him down inside, and then the safety that's supposed to fill ends up getting blocked on the play on the outside. We talked about these wide receivers and how they blocked. That time it was Roddy White pinning the contained guy inside, and that was that.
At the 14, Rodgers. Chris Rodgers takes it to the 11, gain of 3 with about a half-minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
This Dallas Cowboys defense has to just hang in there now. They've given up some plays. Their offense has done next to nothing to speak of, but they're used to being in this position. You think back to that game against the Giants last week, all those turnovers early, they had to defend and they held up. Can they do it again?
They'll switch sides. They'll go to the other end. We played 3 touchdown-free quarters, but it's a good ball game. Dallas 6, Atlanta 6. On to the 4th we go, and Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. With a look at downtown Atlanta, tonight's aerial coverage being brought to you by Geico. In Atlanta, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya on this first Sunday night of November. The game is tied at 6. The Falcons are undefeated. Cowboys are trying to get to that 500 mark and take advantage of that giant loss to the Steelers today. Start the 4th with a 2nd and 7. Ratliff is back in the game at nose tackle. And Ryan throws, and that'll be caught for a first down by White, who backs his way inside the 4-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
That time Julio Jones has been their red zone package, goes in motion into the backfield, and this caused the Philadelphia Eagles all kinds of problems a week ago. Everybody runs to chase Julio Jones, and then Roddy White sneaks in behind him for the big first down.
And 1st and goal. To the end zone. Touchdown, Michael Turner. First touchdown of the night. First Atlanta lead of the night.
Go with the rookie Peter Kahn's in there for Garrett Reynolds. Hangs on just long enough against Marcus Spears to get him in the end zone. And I tell you, for the Dallas Cowboys, they are so thin at linebacker. They're playing everybody in there. Alex Albright, Ernie Sims. They're just trying to find anybody to play that inside linebacker position. And finally, the Falcons taking advantage.
Bryant for the point after. 81 yards, 6 plays, 4 of them rushes. The big gainer by Turner, setting it up, and then he goes into the end zone, and it's 13-6 Falcons. Well, you should know that Dan Patrick has a new home tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Don't miss the arrival of the Dan Patrick Show on the NBC Sports Network. And our man Dan is home getting his beauty rest because he is a beauty. Congratulations, Dan. Looking forward to it. NBC Sports Network tomorrow morning.
On that show the other day. I don't know how he keeps up with all those sports.
He do it. Washington's kickoff will result in a touchback. And the Dallas Cowboys on the brink right now, down by 7 on the road. In the NFL one-possession games, in other words, 8 points or fewer, about half the games since 03 have been decided by one possession. Jason Garrett is 10-10 in one-possession games. Mike Smith is 26-10 in one-possession games. And the other thing that Atlanta does is they put their foot on your throat because they don't cough up leads. And the one thing that Dallas has not been good at is protecting the lead. But tonight they'll have to come from behind. They start from the 20 on this drive, and Romo slings it too high to the outside. Second down, intended for Bryant. Smith in a one-possession game. He's got some pretty terrific company.
It's unbelievable, really. They've won 52 in a row in games that they've had a 6-point lead or more in the fourth quarter.
Go back to the beginning of the league with Guy Chamberlain and John Madden with the second best record, and then Mike Smith is right there. Good company when you're up there with a coach and anything.
Absolutely.
Second and 10. And they run an inside draw, and the Falcons say, "You're not fooling us." Wow. Vance Walker and Stephen Nicholas are right there to bury him for an 8-yard loss.
Well, Tony Romo's got a tough situation. I think he's almost saying, Jason, put the ball in my hands. Just quit fooling around. Stop the draws. Last week we were down 23 points. We came all the way back to take a lead. It's my time. Just give me the ball.
Yeah, let's go out on the street and play street ball almost. 17-yard line, 3rd and 13. And Romo throws, and that'll be caught at the 23. But getting up is Austin, and then he's taken down short of the first down, and the Cowboys with a 3-and-out and a punt.
They picked up the blitz. They brought everybody, and the Cowboys do a good job. So once that's picked up, you hope you're going to be able to work the ball down the field to somebody. And really, in that circumstance, it almost does you no good to dump that one off. If he could have held it, he had the one-on-one routes on the outside.
Mormon to punt. Franks to receive it. It's a line drive kick, and then Franks has to let it bounce.
Look out.
And it's a favor for Dallas as he then fields it at the 20-yard line. Ryan will go to work again after a 53-yard boot.
The Hyundai Genesis.
So far in this one, for my money, Bruce Carter. Watch some of the plays this young man has made in just his second year. Diagnosing the short yardage run beautifully there. Catching the sweep on the outside, and then in pass coverage, sort of faking going back and then coming up for the big hit on that one. And defensively, they need a turnover now. That's the one thing they've not been able to do so far in this one.
Carter 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss behind the line of scrimmage. Off the play fake, Ryan floating to his left, and the catch is made, but Hatcher is right there, Jason Hatcher, to take Snelling down behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 3, 2nd and 13.
You know, this Cowboys defense is well coached, and they got playmakers that have certainly helped them. But Rob Ryan and his staff are doing a good job. I mean, you know, he'll tell you, in his opinion, Sean Lee's the best defensive player in the league. And when they lost him, and then Dan Connor, and then Jay Ratliff, but they're still hanging in there, and they need a few more plays.
2nd and 13. Plenty of time left, but this is a big defensive series for the Cowboys. You don't want to get into a 2-possession game And you got Julio Jones, who may just turn it into a two-possession game. Inside the 40, started to lose the football, and he takes the ball deep into Dallas territory on a gain of 48 yards.
That's what happens when you want to try and bring a little pressure inside. And this guy just so dangerous. He gets in the middle of the field, but then it's Bruce Carter who runs him down. Aren't many times you're going to see Bruce Carter chasing down one of the fastest players in the game. And this guy was a champion. Long jumper, high jumper, everything he did was off the charts. Sprinter as well.
Spotted at the 35-yard line. It's a 4-yard gain now for Turner, and they're already in field goal range. Well, the way Bryant's kicking it, I don't know what that range is.
You know, which is
close.
Amazing, because Matt Bryant was going for his 3rd straight season of 90% kicks, and missing 2 tonight is really unusual for him.
2nd down and 7. Bryant warming up for what he hopes will be an extra point. To the outside and open. Rogers is able to get to the 26-yard line. Brandon Carr making the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 1. The Falcon receivers tonight. White thrown to 7 times, has caught every one. Jones targeted 6 times, has caught 5 of them. Each guy in triple figures. White averaging 17 yards per catch, and Jones averaging 26 yards per reception.
And it's what makes this team so tough. And then that play, you see Jacquizz Rodgers coming out of the backfield. That's a new element that they didn't have a season ago.
Now Julio Jones lines up as the tailback, and they toss it to him, and he gets around what would be a tackle in the backfield and turns it into a 1st down. So instead of 4th down and a field goal attempt, it's Ware who cannot bring him down. He steps away, moves to the outside, moves the chains.
Well, you've got one of the best athletes against one of the best athletes. DeMarcus Ware really has him almost dead to rights on the outside and just cannot make the play in the open field against Julio Jones. And that's been a bit of the story tonight. And I think all season long for the Atlanta Falcons, they have too many one-on-one matchup nightmares to try and cover all these guys. Whoever it is that you leave singled up, that's who's getting the ball.
From the 18, 1st down. And coming in is Victor Butler from the defensive right side. Beats his man and gets the big sack.
Osaka Polite supposed to pick up this outside blitzer here. Takes 1 step up, 1 step too many, and Michael Turner was on the play fake, and maybe that's the play the Cowboys needed to get something going, because now at least you put them in a 2nd and long, create some options for you defensively.
3rd sack tonight of Ryan. 2nd and 19. On the ground, inside. Nice gain. Inside the 20, Michael Turner. And that makes it 3rd and 10.
I think that's a really good call there. The Cowboys were in double coverage across the board in what's called a 2-man coverage on the outside. So it leaves big gaping holes inside. Very patient, understanding that in this situation, a field goal is a pretty powerful thing as well. Justin Blaylock, a good block inside on Jay Ratliff.
On 3rd and 10. And Ryan's going to go for it all, and it's flicked away at the last moment by Brandon Carr. Intended for White in the end zone, and that'll bring Bryant in to try to make it a 2-possession game.
Cowboys are lucky that Brandon Carr made that play. They were not ready again, and Rob Bryant is upset. They were, for the 2nd time, milling around the line of scrimmage, did not have the call in. Matt Ryan quick snapped them and almost came out of it with 6.
So Bryant's made from 45 and 46 and missed from 37 and 43. This is a 36-yard attempt. Matt Boschert to hold it. And this time the kick is good. 7:49 left in regulation. Atlanta up 16-6. Check it out on Wednesday night on NBC. You'll see Chicago Fire at 10 Eastern and Pacific, 9 Central and Mountain. And the Chicago Bears are on fire as well with 6 straight wins, and we will be there next Sunday night for the Texans and the Bears on Sunday Night Football.
The Cowboys could use the Bears defense to help them score some points. What do they have now? 7 returns for touchdowns, something like that. Been an amazing year. The NFL record, I think, is 9.
And Bosher's kick. 6 yards in. Dunbar's going to come out with it. Breaking tackles. Out past the 20. And a good run back before he's forced out of bounds. But a flag is down, as it oftentimes is on a return. And most of the time it's against the return team.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 55 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10.
Alex Albright with a block in the back. Big hill to climb for the Dallas Cowboys. For every point scored during the NFL Salute the Service games, the league will donate $100 to each of its nonprofit partners. Join and learn more at NFL.com/salute. So the Dallas Cowboys, 3-4 coming in, down by 10, start from the 22-yard line. The Falcon defense has done a great job tonight. Romo throws and making a sliding attempt, and the catch at the 41-yard line was Miles Austin. Going down, making the grab, and that's a gain of 20 yards.
Yeah, they finally run somebody underneath and then bring the crosser in behind. That time Ogletree drew the coverage. Witten cleared it out. That's one they should be going to more often.
Cowboys already in their hurry up with over 7 minutes to play. Romo will sling it back to the left side, and then it'll be caught and taken to the 49-yard line by Felix Jones.
And they really came back with the same play and just ran a different option. I don't know if they'll come back to it again. That was a little bit of a dangerous throw across the field, but got away with it.
Gain of 6. And 2nd and 4. Romo over the middle. Witten makes the catch. That takes the ball to the 45. Witten, who's been limited tonight to 4 catches, has just set a Cowboy record. 751 career catches, eclipsing Michael Irvin's mark.
Now they're in that same sort of mode they were in last week with Tony Romo and the hurry up and a basic set offense.
6:20 left in regulation. Over the middle, they go to Witten again, and that's going to be a 1st down on his 5th grab of the night, taking the ball to the 34-yard line.
And exhaustion setting in. John Abraham kind of walking back across. Look at what this does to the pass rushers now. You get in this no huddle, and you get no pressure at all.
Similar to last week against the Giants when they overcame a 23-point deficit, and Jones takes the ball to the 20-yard line.
Abraham doing the best he can, but he's worn out on the outside. Still gets inside Doug free and makes an effort. But it's tough. Finally, they get him out and bring Bierman in.
Cowboys all no huddle from the 21. 4-man rush. Tony directing traffic to the end zone. He goes, and it's a touchdown for Ogletree. Kevin Ogletree, who had a 65-yard catch earlier, makes a big one here, and it's going to be a 3-point game in a moment.
Troy Bierman's going to loop inside. Romo's going to escape out. Now watch him direct traffic here. Come on, man. Come on, Kevin. Come on inside there. And I cannot be the only one in America asking this question. Where has this been?
Right.
You know, you put the ball in Tony Romo's hands last week, down 23, brings them all the way back. Now you open it up, you go no huddle, boom, right down the field.
Romo 6 of 6, 78 yards. Took him 2:29 to guide him down the field, and boy, did they need that. 5:21 left in regulation. 16-13 Falcons. Aftermath of natural disasters like Superstorm Sandy, the American Red Cross provides a lot of terrific services. You can visit redcross.org or text Red Cross to 90999 to give a $10 donation. Hope you do it. Georgia Dome. 3-point game. Bailey to kick off. And 7 yards in. It's down by Rodgers. Sunday Night Football from Atlanta being brought to you by Verizon. Now more than ever, Droid does by Wendy's Bacon Portobello Melt. And by Hyundai, new thinking, new possibilities. Tony Romo, all no huddle, 6 plays, all passes, 2:29 off the clock, and turns it into a 3-point game.
And what happened now, not only did it slow the pass rush down, but it slowed Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator, down. He had been giving Tony a lot of very exotic looks, but then you get in the no huddle, and you can't call those on the field like you can from the sideline. So it settled down what the looks were defensively and slowed the pass rush.
Now they turn it over to the defense to try to get the ball back quickly. And Ryan's going to go deep for Jones. A flag is thrown because contact was made. Jones went down, and they're going to call an interference here with Claiborne covering on the play. And the interference is going to be on the Falcons.
Pass interference, offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Pushed off and then fell down anyway. Interference on Jones.
Yeah, Morris Claiborne was really beaten on the play and kind of sticks out his arm as Julio Jones is going by him. And then Julio Jones kind of gets him off. There's a lot of football that's played just like that around the league where nothing's called, but that one got called.
1st and 20 now from the 10-yard line.
Cowboys have to win now. They've got them backed up. 1st and 20, have to hold.
On the ground. Turner again. Good run. Having the distance they need for the first down. 10-yard gain, 2nd down and 10.
Well, going to get some good blocks in here. Justin Blaylock's going to get up on Bruce Carter that time. But remember now, the Cowboys are in coverage. They've got 2 deep safeties down the field. They're bump and run on the outside on these receivers. So if they stay in that look, more running opportunities for the Falcons.
Ratliff's been in and out. In right now. 2nd down and 10. And Ryan to the outside, and that'll be caught at the 24-yard line by Gonzalez, tackled by Scandrick. And upcoming right now as the clock ticks down to the 4-minute mark is a huge 3rd and 6.
But good play calling on the part of Dirk Cutter. Now he has at least set up a 3rd and reasonable after that 1st and 20. So now we have the play of the ball game right here. And the Dallas Cowboys make this play. They'll probably be in some kind of man coverage on the outside. They were great in it last week. Can they get one?
And if they don't, they're going to have to take their timeouts on defense. And the catch is made, and then breaking away, Rodgers. They had him stopped, broke away from a tackle by Scandrick. 31 yards, gigantic play.
Well, we talked about it earlier, but the additional factor of Jacquizz Rodgers coming out of the backfield, one-on-one, Orlando Scandrick, all he's got to do is make the tackle. Make that tackle. They bring on the punt team, your red-hot offense that just sprinted down the field, gets a chance, and Rodgers has the game breaker.
To the 45-yard line he goes, and that compels the Cowboys to take their first time out.
That's all this offense needs is one more weapon in the backfield.
Mike Smith. You talk about finishing. Well, every coach is always talking about limit the turnovers. Don't take too many penalties. He manifests all that. And then finish. And he finishes. And of course, that's been the Dallas problem, not finishing. From the 45-yard line, 1st down.
Had a double inside linebacker blitz.
And it's about a 2-yard gain that time. Turner.
The dynamics of this game have changed, though, a little bit because it's just a 3-point game. Now a field goal doesn't get you beat. All they need is the ball back, no matter what the Falcons do.
And they're going to have to do it probably without any timeouts. They take their second one right here to stop the clock at 3:39. Meanwhile, Witten in the middle of that drive. Just want to go back and acknowledge the fact. And there's the chart right there. Irvin was 750, and then Michael went way by Drew Pearson before his Hall of Fame career was over. And of course, with Jason Witten right now, he could bear down on 1,000 by the time he's done. And Romo can only sit and wait and hope.
This is where Michael Turner has been so good during the course of his career as a closer, running the football in these situations and getting that last first down that allows him to run out the clock.
Come up in the gun on 2nd down and 8.
Got the man coverage on the outside with the 2 deep safeties.
And Ryan to the outside. Contact there. No flag. Jenkins and White. White turning around. Doesn't see any laundry. It'll be 3rd and 8. So a big play there for Dallas because they don't have to spend a timeout.
Yeah, they're going to let him play here, I guess. And because he got his head around, I think they gave him the leeway to go ahead and have a little contact, knock that ball out. Mike Jenkins, a guy that's a lot of trade rumors. People wondered when they drafted Claiborne and took Carr, would they trade him? Their feeling was the more corners, the better, and it just paid a dividend.
3rd and 8. Ryan slings it incomplete, but a flag is down all the way back up at the 40-yard line. Pass intended for White. Who makes the contact here?
I think the slot corner here, was that Scandrick over here?
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Killer.
Roddy White working against Scandrick right here as he starts to get away. Let's see, does he pull the jersey? In the eyes of the officials, he did, and it looked like he did. Boy, just a killer penalty. And there we go. We might as well go back to the opening on camera, right? They get back in the game, and it's the mistakes, it's the penalties, it's the lack of penalties by the Falcons. They're so disciplined, and that one costly for the Cowboys.
So they have 1 timeout plus the 2-minute warning. The ball is at the 38-yard line. And this is Snelling. And Snelling gets taken down to the 34-yard line, and the Cowboys now spend their final timeout. Meanwhile, there's Bryant and Jones, and Bryant has been very silent tonight.
You know, the other interesting part about it is if they can hold them right here, it would be a tough decision because a long field goal, if missed, would give Tony Romo the great field position out there in the middle of the field. So these next 4 or 5 yards in this next first down, critical.
Absolutely. Right now you're looking at, if you want to go for it and don't gain another yard, a 52-yard attempt. You miss it, as Chris says, the ball comes back to Romo at the 42-yard line.
Plenty of time still, but you have to get off the field.
2nd and 5. Clock will only stop for Dallas now at the 2-minute warning. And Ryan throwing for White, and that pass is incomplete. You got Morris Claiborne, their #1 draft choice, 6th guy picked overall, covering 3rd and 5.
Yeah, I think Claiborne was the one asking for the flag here. Let's see if Roddy White does any grabbing. He does. He kind of takes down that left arm as he's going for the ball. Watch him grab the left arm and make Claiborne a one-handed receiver. Cleverly done and gotten away with by Roddy White. The Falcons catch a huge break that time.
And not a bad break for the Cowboys in light of the fact the clock stops. 3:18. What is Dirk Cutter sending in here? 3rd down and 5. To the outside. And a great spin move again. And that's Rodgers to the 22-yard line. Makes the catch behind the line to gain and then spins away from the defender. 1st down. Spins away from McCray.
I don't know why Danny McCray was baited to go inside here when his guy, Julio Jones, was outside. There was nothing in there for him to have to play. You know, he's out there playing because of the injury to Barry Church and a lot of injuries. He takes the bait on Tony Gonzalez inside and then just can't react outside quickly enough.
22-yard line. This will be the final play before the 2-minute warning. And to the 18 goes Michael Turner, and that will take us down to 2 minutes.
Still time. You just have to stop them. You know, you're going to get the ball back with what, a minute, a little under a minute, something like that. Still time.
Well, you've got a 2nd down play coming up, a 2nd and 5. You get the ball back with less than that because you've got a 3rd down, and then you'll let the clock run down for 4th down, and then the field goal. In any event, the Falcons are pretty close to extending their undefeated mark. 2 minutes to go. Wendy's post-game report after the game. Michelle will be down on the field to interview the stars of the game. Bob, Tony, and Mike will break it down, look at league news, and Chris and I will take a look ahead to next week. Texans at the Bears. 2nd and 5. If they don't get a 1st down, they're going to have to kick a field goal with about 40 seconds to go, leaving Dallas a little bit, maybe more than a half a minute. To get a 1st down, forget about everything. 2nd and 5. Turner will turn him back. And Turner will get stopped about 4 yards short of the 1st down at the 11-yard line. Now they let the play clock go down and snap this one with about 1:20 or so left. A little bit less than that. Then you get the 4th down. You let that run all the way down, and then if you have to, you bring Bryant in, and Romo would get the ball with about a half a minute left.
Yeah, Julio Jones checking back in the game. Let's see if he lines up at the tailback position. Remember that little flip 90 play they had? Not a bad way to get a great athlete in space. It's been Julio Jones, and I wonder if Julio Jones going to get a chance here. Nope, they're going to flank him out.
Turner 19 carries 100 yards. 3rd and 4. And they're going to stop him at the 9-yard line, but that's going to take us down. If they run the clock all the way down inside a half minute with about 25 seconds or so, Bryant can come in to try to make it a 6-point game, which of course would compel Dallas to score a touchdown and not a field goal to tie it.
Yeah, I guess you could make an argument that you could try and go for it here on 4th down, but with just a 3-point game, I think you have to take it to 6 or try to and make them score a touchdown with no timeouts to beat you.
And they'll run it all the way down, and Romo will get the ball back with even less time because those Turner runs actually took some extra time off the clock.
Well, for Orlando Scandrick, probably be in the headlines tomorrow, but not for the good reasons. He missed a tackle there that would have had the Cowboys off the field. Holding call there that would have had the Cowboys off the field. And then it was Danny McCray with a misread on Julio Jones. And I'm telling you, this Julio Jones factor coming out of the backfield is something they didn't really use much last year and has been huge.
32-yard field goal attempt to try to make it a 6-point lead. And Bryant's kick has just made a lot of people happy and a lot of other people very unhappy. 19-13 as the Atlanta Falcons have left the Cowboys with 17 seconds and needing a touchdown. in the NFC. Best records in the conference right now. Atlanta trying to go to 8-0, on the verge of doing that. We see Chicago next week at 7-1. San Francisco 6-2 at the halfway mark. The Giants lose to go to 6-3, and Green Bay has rebounded. They started that rebound in Houston, handing the Texans their only loss. Now for the Cowboys, they're not dead. They go to Philadelphia next week. Somebody's going to be dead after that game. But then they go home, and they have Cleveland and Washington and Philadelphia in a row at home. They go to Cincinnati and then Pittsburgh and New Orleans at home. So the Cowboys, after next week, will have 5 out of 6 at home. But then again, at home, it hasn't really been a tremendous advantage for the Cowboys.
That's where all the turnovers come.
Right. Arthur Blank is there. Michelle getting ready for her post-game interview. And the Cowboys now with Boxer to kick off. And that kick in Dwayne Harris's direction will go through the end zone. So 17 seconds without a timeout to go 80 yards.
Yeah, and whatever it is here, to get a second play is going to have to get the ball out of bounds. You're not going to have time to run the play and then hustle everybody up the field for a Hail Mary. So, who knows? You run everybody down the sideline and try to peel somebody on the back shoulder, but this next play has to go out of bounds or be one of those gimmicky lateral plays.
Bryant and Austin both come to the right side. 3-man rush. And that's Witten. He'll step out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So now you need 74 yards in 13 seconds.
Yeah, you need about 74 more of those passes. What is that? That's 6 yards and more importantly 4 seconds. Got to get it at least somewhere in position to try a Hail Mary. So you need about 25 yards here just to have a shot. Well, Romo did throw that one about 65 yards earlier in the game.
In the air, exactly 65 from the line of scrimmage to Ogletree. And Witten's going to make the catch, but that's going to take another 4 seconds off the clock and put the ball at the 38-yard line. So you need 62 yards in 9 ticks.
Well, they are in position now where a 12-yarder would give them a Hail Mary. So they're just going to back up. I guess they're going to say, well, if you're going to give us that, we'll take it. Reasonable range. If he threw it 65 yards, he could get it close to the end zone here.
What do you call this, a cover 6?
Now they have everybody wrapped around the sideline in a big umbrella defensive formation. Not giving you that throw again.
Romo, well, they're going to take it down to one last play as Jones makes the catch. And again, they go short to set up the last play of the game, barring a defensive foul, and they need 60 yards.
Take a look at this coverage. It is one big umbrella right there, so they're not going to give you that out of bounds ball. Now, all right, Tony, get your arm loose. You're going to have to throw this one about 70.
Falcons even have Julio Jones out there playing safety if they need him. Back at the 13-yard line now. So, barring a defensive penalty, this is it. Rushing 3. Romo stepping away, buying time, under pressure. Now throws. It's going to be caught at the 45 by Felix Jones. Jones inside the 30. Will he start to look behind him? He should have. And down he goes at the 21-yard line. Tackled by Robinson. And that will do it. And the Atlanta Falcons reach the halfway mark of the season at 8-0. And the Dallas Cowboys, with the Giants losing today and a golden chance to pick up ground, go to 3-5. Coming up next, it'll be the Wendy's post-game report. Michelle on the field with the stars of the game. the gang to analyze it, and that's coming up after these messages from your NBC station.
Both had over 100 yards.
I can remember Michael Irvin going down to do an interview with these guys, and he asked them the question, well, are you guys better than that tandem from Dallas? Yeah. And they looked at him and said, you playing, right?
Well, this one to Tony Gonzalez set up a Matt Bryant field goal, tied at 6 at the break, third quarter. Michael Turner, kind of a little bit of a forgotten guy in this offense.
And this is why I say they're so dangerous, because this is really the base of who they used to be. So when things get tough and you do find a little bit of a crinkle in their passing game, they hand it to that big dude. You don't want that either.
Yeah, that one for 43 yards. Then on to the fourth. Turner finishes up what he kind of started there, the bowling ball. He's like a bowling ball with legs. I don't know how you tackle that. It's a 3-yard touchdown. So now Romo and the boys are down by a touch, ensuing Cowboys possession. Lance Dunbar.
You running a draw in this situation right here when you trying to get back in the game?
That was on 2nd and 10.
Romo's yelling at somebody. Now, who is he yelling at, guys?
That's a good question.
I know.
Well, here he's looking for Miles Austin. Okay, that's a good catch, but a little short of the first down, so Dallas had to punt. Next Falcons drive, 2nd and 13. Deep in their own territory, run Julio Jones. That's a bad man.
That's a bad man. And you understand why Atlanta moved up in the draft to get this guy. And this guy is already emerging as one of the elite receivers in the game.
129 yards receiving in this one. And now that ball is tipped away nicely. So the Falcons have to settle for a Matt Bryant field goal, but they're up by 2 scores at this point. So Dallas got to get it going. Now, Mike, you might want to close your eyes here. Romo to Jason Witten for 10 yards. That's career catch number 751, which is the most in Cowboys history.
Still ain't no Mike Irvin. Yeah, well, congratulations to that man right there, man. And I texted and talked to him, man. Jason Witten, he does deserve it. What a hard-working guy that
Translation, jerk. So Romo,
God, no.
Keep me
Felix
alive. Jones.
Translation is, they didn't throw to me like that. Different rules.
Next play, Romo to Kevin Ogletree. Where's he been since week 1? That's a 21-yard score, and so the Cowboys are only down 3. All they need is a defensive stop, put the ball back in Romo's hands, go no huddle like they did on that drive. They're good. But here, Ryan, Julio Jones, however...
This was a bad call.
Well, that was a bad call.
That's offensive pass interference.
Yeah, that was a bad call.
That was a bad call.
Look, he's pulling the Irvin right there.
Yeah, you got to lead a man sometimes. He's a physical receiver. Yeah,
Third and 6, critical play. Ryan
right
Jacquizz Rodgers, who didn't block DeMarcus Ware, but he sidetracks Orlando Scandrick, 31 yards.
Listen, if it's 4th and 4 or 4th and 5, 4th and 3, even 4th and 2, it doesn't matter. You don't fly up to make this tackle. You woke up to make that tackle. Wait a minute, Chris. You woke up to make that tackle.
Okay, what about this one? Incomplete to Roddy White, but you can talk to Orlando Scandrick again.
Yeah, I mean, he did not have a good game, but, I mean...
He had a good game except for those 2 plays.
Yes.
You got to tackle.
You got to get off the field. That's bad football. You got to get off the field. That's the check down.
That's a heck of a play, mate.
Now, Ryan looking for Roddy White. It's incomplete. Morris Claiborne right there had a chance at the pick, but...
See, that's what these young receivers got to do. Sometimes a receiver has to play DB.
Now Ryan to Rodgers.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you guys, that's a tough tackle to make, man. One-on-one with a running back like that, open field. Now watch the second one. Okay. Ain't nobody saying nothing about that.
That's a different play. Scandrick just went off the diving board. He just you can't go and dive. You got to keep both feet on the ground. You come up with a base at that man, both feet on the ground, not one foot in front of the other, both side by side. You say, come to me.
You do those Scandrick like 175, 180. I just wanted to share that.
Just wrap him up. Rodgers is
wrap what up?
Rodgers ain't 200. It's the few things that the teams that end up winning the games. They do. You know, it's the things that the New England Patriots, the teams like to do. They know how to hold people there and they rally to the ball to make those plays in those crucial situations.
So what's the bigger story here? The fact that the Falcons are 8-0 or that the Cowboys are 3-5?
Falcons are 8-0.
8-0, man.
The reason they're 8-0 because offensively, we understand how many weapons they have. I mean, they have a whole plethora of guys on offense that can really get it done. Matt Ryan is probably arguably the MVP of the league at this point in the season. But defensively, these guys are getting to the ball. They're making plays. And we can't not mention that they held the Dallas Cowboys to 13 points. And this is an after mention of the Falcons defense because their offense is so prevalent.
Well, Prime, like you mentioned, they're doing the little things. And when you talk about the Dallas Cowboys, they're not doing the little things. You have to tackle guys on third down to get off the field, to give your offense an opportunity to come on the field and make plays. You can't get penalties to keep drives going in big situations. I mean, the game is on the line at this point where this team is starting to break down. And usually the good teams don't make mistakes when the games are on the line or later in the game. And they're in the game. They're in the game. That's the good part, but they're not finishing well. That's the bad part.
Yeah, but all I ever hear is how talented the Cowboys are, how great they are. But doesn't that mean you're not as talented if you're missing plays, if you're missing tackles, if you're just not making good plays overall? It just means you're not as good as the team you're playing. So why do we keep saying that the Cowboys? Okay, you're right. You're right.
Well, when it comes down to the Cowboys, a lot of it's discipline too. The penalties and some